Lássuk is tovább az Obi-Wan Trilógia írójával, Stuart Beattyvel készített interjú folytatását. Ha már itt vagy, ne is menj sehova! Sziasztok, sziasztok, hello, köszöntök mindenkit nagy-nagy szeretettel ebben az újabb Star Wars hírek videóban, ahol is újabb érdekes részletek fognak még kiderülni arról, hogy milyen is lehetett volna az Obi-Wan trilógia, milyen jeleneteket képzelt el az író, milyen karakterfejlődést és annak milyen ábrázolásmódját álmodta meg annak idején, ami sajnos végül nem került mozivászonra. Ezen kívül egy kis betekintést nyerhetünk abba is, hogy mi is okozhatta a projekt elkaszálását, és teljesen más irányba történő eltérítését. Persze pár dolgot meghagytak az eredeti ötletekből, de az eredmény, amelyet végül a képernyőn is láthattunk, eléggé önmagáért beszélt, azt gondolom. Nézzük is tovább, hogy miről is van szó konkrétan a folytatásban.
So anyway, when Obi-Wan eventually leaves Tatooine, everything goes wrong, and he ends up not where he's supposed to be. He ends up on this massive kind of space station, which is like a transportation hub. So, you know, the only space station we've already seen in Star Wars really is the Death Star, right? So just, okay, well, what's a transportation hub look like? People from all over the galaxy coming and going. And so he falls in with this group of refugees there called the Karoo. And they're being kept there by this corrupt administrator of the station, and you know, and so he falls in with them, and they need his help basically. But they have their own connection to the Force, which they call something else completely. But we know what it really is. It's the Force, you know. Yeah, but right. So they kind of teach him, you know, you're trying to force your will onto this kid, and it's going to end badly. And we see flashes of that on Tatooine before he leaves. We see flashes of darkness in Luke when Obi-Wan's trying to get him to kind of, you know, come on, Luke, use the Force, you know. You saw little flashes of darkness.
No, really? Like, how? Like what?
Oh, yeah.
Like how are you going to portray that?
Well, there was a ball, a very simple thing, right? 4-year-old playing a ball, rolling a ball back and forth, right? Yeah. And then Obi-Wan held and we would say, take it. And Luke would come up, start walking. He's like, no, stay there. Take the ball. Yeah. And Luke would be reaching, take the ball, take the ball, take the ball, Luke. And, you know, and then the ball just flies out, you know, all of a sudden it goes haywire all over the place. And it's like, whoa, what the hell was that? You know, but like this real flash of like, whoa, you know, and this little look in this kid that's angry, you know.
Oh my
So the idea was, and Obi-Wan, you know, other things happened, and so he forgot about that. But yeah, he gets reminded of that while he's with the Karoo, and he actually they take him to a place in their starship where they connect most powerfully with the Force, and he has this vision, and in the vision he's on Mustafar, and he sees, you know, the dark figure in the cloak with the red lightsaber, and it's, you know, it's Anakin. I was like, oh my God, I'm here fighting Anakin. And they come together, and the guy pulls off his hood. It's not Anakin, it's Mark Hamill at 19, you know, and it's holy shit. And Luke's turned to the dark side, and he's got to fight Luke in the dark side, and getting out of that is what makes him realize, holy shit, this is the path we're going down. I'm going to turn this kid into a Sith if I keep this up. And so I've got to get out of here, B, get back to Tatooine, C, you know, secure him from Darth Vader and Reva, make them think I'm dead, all this kind of stuff. And it led to this really great third act where surrendering to this all was what allowed him to kind of reconnect to the Force in this great kind of Superman 2 moment, you know. Yeah. Then Superman 2 when he crushes Zod's hand, and he gets his powers back because he has learned to surrender. And that's what allows him to escape and get away at the end of the day. And the big thing with Reva was she was the one that ends up going back to Vader and saying, Kenobi's dead, I killed him. And in a fit of rage, Vader kills Reva. But she dies securing Kenobi's secret that he's still alive. And that's what allows Vader to kind of let Kenobi go. You know, because when we see him in New Hope, he's let that go. You know, it's not until he gets that feeling. He's like, hang on, what's that? It's something I haven't felt since, you know. And it's like, hang on, you know. So it's the idea that, you know, he also needs to, you know, let go. And at the beginning of my film, he is absolutely crazy obsessed with finding and hunting and killing Kenobi. That's all he cares about. And the Emperor's railing on him like, you gotta let the shit go, man. That's Anakin. You know, you're Vader now.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'll let him go when he's dead. You know, so the thing for him was the hunt. And we had this really great opening sequence where Vader took on five Jedis at once and just slaughtered them all. And it's like, you know, because I figured Vader's like 26, height of his powers. And, you know, it was just an awesome sequence where he was taking on these five Jedi at once. And you got to see how just truly terrifying this villain is. And that's what's, and then of course you cut to Kenobi and Kenobi has no powers. And you're like, oh man, Kenobi's screwed. You know, he is screwed. So
it's almost like an Ivan Drago and Rocky sort of moment where it's
exactly. If Rocky, you know, had lost his fists. You know? It's just, how is he ever going to win? And so it just set up this really great confrontation that ended up happening on that space station. And that space station, there's a bunch of stuff that happens, but basically that space station was falling apart and everyone was fleeing off it. And so it was just, that fight happened on a space station that was falling into a planet, into a gas giant planet. And, you know, they were the last two on the station fighting it out, basically. And
so there's the concept of time there too, where it's impending doom almost.
Yeah, for both of them. Yeah. And it really got to a point where Vader won that battle, you know, and that was the point, you know, because that's the other thing I didn't buy about the show was that Kenobi would defeat Vader and leave him alive.
Yeah.
No. So it was, no, Kenobi lost. He had no force powers, you know. Vader beat him, but they had that pivotal moment of Kenobi saying, "Stop this, Anakin." You know, slashed the helmet open, saw the eyes, said, "I know it's you. I know you're in there. Stop this. I believe there's still good in you." Padme said it. I believe it. It's just, and that was again the whole point of it, was to get to that moment where Kenobi showed that he still believed in Anakin, despite everything. Still believed in Anakin, and it was really that moment when then Anakin said, "Nah, there's no Anakin here. I'm just Darth." That's what made the switch in Kenobi's head. Anakin is dead. I did kill him, and this new guy. Well, I didn't kill him. Darth Vader killed him, basically, which is of course what he tells Luke, because I believe he believed that
from a certain point of view. Yeah,
exactly.
My God.
And
all during this, you would have, I guess, like swipe scenes where you go back to Tatooine and Cody's getting into some mischief. Or
yeah, well, that was a fun B plot. You know, I figured, you know, they have to basically, you know, they get found by bounty hunters on Tatooine, and so
God.
Yeah, they've got this. The bounty hunters, of course, working for the Empire, looking for Jedi, and they get found out, and so it's like we've got a race to like stop this bounty hunter from getting back to Mos Eisley. So there's this great speeder chase, because you've never seen a speeder chase, right? You know.
Well, we saw one in Boba Fett, right?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, right. So it was this great chase back to Mos Eisley, but the guy gets a photo of Kenobi, and it's like, you know, we got him, but he got the photo out, and so now you're screwed. The Empire's coming, you know, and it's so they've got their, you know, fail-safe, you know, in event of emergency plan, and the plan is Obi-Wan leaves the planet and Cody stays behind and looks after Luke, because he wants someone.
Yeah. So, someone he could trust.
So Cody was a fun B plot. Which was really just, you know, kind of getting rid of the bodies and, you know, taking them out to the Sarlacc pit and dumping the bodies in the Sarlacc.
Oh my God.
You know, because that's what you do, right? You know, and so
it's Tatooine,
you go to you got a body you need to get rid of, some stormtrooper bodies, you just go to the Sarlacc pit, right? And so that was the gag that, you know, the Cody and Owen take the bounty hunter bodies out to the local Sarlacc pit. And, you know, there's someone else there dumping stormtrooper bodies. And they're like, you know, for a second, you know, I'm like, no, we're all on the same side. And And then they just keep dumping the bodies. And then this really big speeder rolls up, and this really drunk little Jawa rolls out of it, and, you know, opens the back, and there's a gigantic alien that this little bad Jawa has killed, and the bad Jawa tosses the big alien into the Sarlacc. It's just a little fun. It was just a little fun backstory. Basically, Cody was keeping an eye on Luke while Obi-Wan was away dealing with all this, and so when they came back in the end, he was, you know, keeping an eye on him. So it was like a B plot in the film.
This is absolutely incredible. I don't know how they went from that to what we got. I don't understand what happened, and I'd love to hear about if you want to talk about how did they get rid of you? Like why were you no longer a part of it? And they hired these other professionals, and I don't. I use that term loosely in this sense, but that's just my opinion.
Look, it was more. The simple answer is that it was really just a change in corporate strategy, as bland as that sounds. But when Solo didn't perform as they were hoping it would, they thought, all right, that's it. No more films showing characters that you know are going to survive because they're in later movies. That's what they felt like. Audiences don't care. They don't care to show up, and so unfortunately we got kind of painted with that brush, and just it killed it. So the director left, and the whole thing got shut down. And then it wasn't until like a year or so later that they were like, "Hey, let's do it as a show." And so they pulled out my script, and then hired some people to turn that into a 6-episode show. Yeah, but I wasn't involved by that stage. I was doing other things.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Both as someone who's talking to you and as a fan of Star Wars, because I would have loved to have seen your iteration of that. I think it would have been everything fans wanted to see. I think it would have just a better story.
I'm a fan, and that's what I wanted to see.
Yeah,
that's what you can do at the end of the day is do what you want to see.
Yeah.
But look, I believe you have to be a fan. First and foremost, it can't just be something you like, or something you're interested in, or something is popular. It has to be something that you live and die with. And I think the best Star Wars comes from that. It comes from anything, and anything, any project, any film, any TV show. You've just got to have that passion to really be an authority on the world and on the characters, and that's how you become an author. You become an authority.
Yeah, no, I fully agree, and I unfortunately feel like they were hiring just the wrong people for the job for Star Wars, because it's not like a typical, hey, we have a Hollywood script here, let's get someone that's like an A-list director or writer or something like that and have them work on this. You have to really kind of grow up with this franchise and know about it, and I'd say even in some sense have it save your life in some way or another, where you care about these characters and you kind of get them. Yeah, and you being friends with Lawrence Kasdan and his relationship with George, I kind of feel like you have that outline of when you're writing Star Wars. Like, okay, would George want this for these characters? And I just don't feel like that's something that's happening today with the stuff they're creating, unfortunately.
Yeah, I asked Larry about that. I was like, what is it? What defines a Star Wars movie? He's like, it's one word, and it's delight. Like, that's what a Star Wars movie is. It's delightful in all its different forms. It's delightful. You walk out delighted, and that's certainly what that original trilogy was for me. I just was delighted.
Yeah,
it really was. Watching those films, all those great moments and everything, just fantastic. Yeah.
You didn't see those in theaters, did you? You're not.
Yeah. I saw them all in theaters. Yep, 70. Star Wars was 77, 78. 78. I was in Australia at the time, so I think we got it like 6 months later than everyone else. But they were. My 10th birthday party, I think, was Empire Strikes Back. Took a whole bunch of my friends to go see it.
Oh, what the heck? Hey, you look good, man.
Yeah. So I tell you, it was my life. So I knew the character, I knew the world, and I think most importantly, I had a story to tell. And I think that's the other crucial factor, is you've got to have a story to tell. And I believed wholeheartedly in the story I had to tell, the evolutions of Obi-Wan to Ben, and that's the story I pitched. That's the story I wrote. That's the story we were going to make. And then
it's a brilliant story. I think that would have been. I think Star Wars would be in a different place because of your trilogy for that. But unfortunately, I feel like now it's kind of about money, and I feel like the people that are involved they're just more so analytics guys, and I think they know what'll make money, but it's not.
Yeah, you can never be driven by money, can you? It's like I say, it's about the story, you know. I've got this burning desire to tell this story. Happens to be about, you know, one of your characters in the Star Wars world. Here's the story. Here's why I'm so passionate about it. I think that's all you can do, and then just hope other people, you know, dig it.
Well, I hope they bring you back, man, because I think you're the most insightful writer I've spoken to regarding Star Wars.
You.
So,
I would love to, man. I would love to do a season 2 of Obi-Wan and dig into the second evolution.
Nos, ezzel vége is a második résznek, remélem tetszett nektek is, amennyiben igen, akkor jöhet is a like, a feliratkozás és a megosztás, ha úgy érzitek, hogy ez más Star Wars rajongókat is érdekelhet. Minden esetre én most elköszönök tőletek, az erő legyen veletek, találkozunk a következő részben, addig is szokás szerint maradok tisztelettel, sziasztok!